Hey everybody, it's TotalGamerJunkie and I'll welcome you all back to my channel. Now tomorrow issue 4 of Life is Strange Dust comes out and it's going to be the end of the first arc because issue 5 is apparently the second arc. So I actually thought I'd play this game. It's called Love is Strange. Now it's like there are a bunch of writers in this, and basically it's like a thing where Max doesn't have rewind powers. It's kind of like a dating sim game, I guess you could say. And there's 4 romance options in it. You have Chloe, Kate, Rachel, and Victoria. Now I actually did play this a while ago, like last year when I found out. It was like August or I think it was October I played it. I'm not too sure, but it was definitely last year. Anyways, this what do you call it? This is like one of those weird games, like, but it's not weird. I quite enjoyed it. It's a fan game. Anyways, since like we might not be getting any Pricefield stuff in issue 4, I thought, if I play this, we'll definitely be getting some Pricefield loving. Because yes, that's the only reason I bought the issues. I was like, yes, if Max sacrificed Arcadia Bay to save Chloe, then there's got to be Pricefield. And I was like, there's still no Pricefield left, but if I play this, then yes, there'll be Pricefield. So let's get started. I don't need a tutorial because I know how to play. Alright, insert groin here. Alright, so we gotta get up. I guess I'd better get up. The air is a little chilly as I push the covers off, and one glance in my mirror is enough to tell me that I look like a total zombie. In other words, it's a typical morning for me. Someone's playing music. The people I share a dormitory with are worse than roosters. Oh well, at least I'm up. And I shouldn't make it a habit to be late to class anyway. I stretch out, yawning, as I make my way to the window to feel the sunlight on my skin. Lisa seems to be enjoying it too. She's grown like crazy over the past year. My mom would be so proud. Lisa's the plant. Wow. A whole year already. It's hard to believe that I've been at Blackwell for that long. I'm so glad that I came back to Arcadia Bay and not just for Blackwell Academy. Although I'd be lying if I said it wasn't a huge part. I like Seattle, but it never really felt like home. Arcadia Bay is the place I grew up in, the place where I made all of my best memories, and had so many adventures, each one as different as every new day. Pirates and superheroes. This was the best place to grow up. Well, I'm biased, but I really do feel that way. I don't want to sell Seattle short, of course. I've lived there for 5 long years. I really do miss my friends there and my parents. I was so glad to see them this summer. Hold on. That's recording, right? Yes, it's recording. Okay. Just making sure it was. But I know that coming back here was the right choice for me. I'm technically an adult now, which is something I'm still getting used to. I definitely still feel like a kid in a lot of ways. I'm lucky to have my parents' support and my scholarship, which I've somehow managed to keep into my second year. Go Max. And I can't forget one of the most important parts. Blackwell's brought me back to Chloe Price, my best friend. It took a little while, but we've picked up right where we left off. Actually, we did even better because we didn't exactly part under the best circumstances. But the greatest thing about Chloe is that she's brutally honest with her feelings. Those first few weeks were seriously awkward, but we got through it. I'm determined to be there for her now, even if I couldn't before. Luckily, someone was there for Chloe while I was gone. Rachel Amber. She's totally gorgeous, and she's a really great person too. She's almost too perfect. But she's one of those girls that's just impossible to hate, even though Victoria Chase seems to have found a way. At first, I thought that Rachel and Chloe were total opposites, but they're really more like wolves of the same pack. Let's just say that knowing the both of them is like being accessory to every incident of dubiously criminal mischief in the Bay. But even if I didn't have Chloe and Rachel, I got other friends here too. Dana, Stella, Alyssa. Actually, I can count almost everyone on my floor as a friend. Even Brooke, who is abrasive. It took some getting used to, but it's just her way of being friendly. Pretty impressive for a shy geek like me, Armorite, whatever the word was. Take Kate Marsh for example. She's one of the very first people who befriended me at Blackwell. Kate is probably the most kind-hearted person I've ever met, and she's an incredibly talented artist. She's one of the only students at Blackwell that's unabashed. Sorry, just a yawn just escaped there. Unabashedly wears her heart, or I guess her religion, on her sleeve. I know that she gets flack about it sometimes, but I think it's really cool that she works so hard to create a comfortable environment for other religious and or abstinent students, even if I'm not in her Bible study group or anything. I get along with almost everybody, except for my neighbor across the hall. Victoria Chase is head of the Vortex Club, for all the reputation that goes with it. Even after a year, I'm not entirely sure what the Vortex Club even does, aside from underage drinking. I've heard that being in it is good for your resume, but I never see them do anything to actually improve or benefit the school outside of partying. Oh well, it's not really my place to judge, even though Victoria herself does a lot of judging. Hasn't she heard the old adage about not saying anything at all if you've got nothing nice to say? It's hard not to wither under that Ice Queen stare of hers, or feel totally lame in the presence of her $6,000 camera. She has a great eye though, I'll give her that. I can't spend all morning daydreaming by the window though. I've got to get dressed. I don't want to miss my first class, especially because MX Dog told us last week that they had a surprise coming up on Monday. I wonder what it will be. Yeah, like MX Dog is like has been switched out for Jefferson, and it's pretty cool the image that they're using. They are one of the best teachers I've ever had. They're always supportive of my work and always smiling. I knew Blackwell Academy took on the best of the best, but I had to experience it to believe it. MX Dog is so freaking cool. I'd better hurry up and get going. Then maybe I can find some time to hang out with my friends before class starts. I have a feeling that Chloe and Rachel are going to laugh at my generic brand t-shirt and jeans like they always do, but I've come to terms with my style. I should make sure I have everything before I head out. So, put on bracelet. Chloe gave me one of her punky spiked bracelets a few months ago. I'm clumsy, so I thought I'd instantly take my eye out by wearing it. But it turns out that the secret to fashion is that the studs are actually pretty dull. I guess I really am ready for the mosh pit now, shaka bra. And that's like a little, joke from episode 3 of Life is Strange 1, or season 1. The bracelet that I slide on next to it is all woven rainbow threads. Rachel gave it to me. I was pretty surprised when she did. Rachel's got like a zillion friends. Maybe she makes them for everybody. Check phone. I can't leave my room without a quick scan at my feed. The modern equivalent of reading the morning newspaper. That's a millennial condition, I suppose. Blah, blah, blah. Of course, Victoria's already posted her morning mirror selfie. Liked by 28 people. Posted 5 minutes ago. But she does look really nice in that cashmere sweater. I'd hit like too, but I know she's not interested in my approval. She might never wear that sweater again if I did. Nerd cooties. Huh. I'm kidding. I think I need to stop sinking to her level and being all judgy. Put on bag. I can't forget my bag, and I don't want to forget my camera either. I'm glad it's managed to survive this long. It's really old and not in a cute Fox vintage way. It's legit ancient. But that's what I wanted. A total timelessness to my photos. As I slide my camera into my bag, I look at the little dough pin that Kate gave me a few days ago. It's a warm bronze color. She said that she found it in a bookshop in Portland, that she thought I would like it. I do, but I'm just glad she thinks of me at all. I think I've gotten everything, but I have a feeling I'm forgetting something. Oh, my journal. I can't leave without it. I take it just about everywhere. I guess it's a little old-fashioned of me, and I know that just getting a blog... another yawn. Just getting a blog would be way more secure, but I'm used to writing by hand. There we go, all set. As I head out into the hallway, I finally spot the source of the music. It's all coming from Dana's room. The door's wide open like it usually is. This is definitely way too much bass for a Monday morning. I cross the hall, shaking my head. I knock on Kate's door, but there's no response. Maybe she's already headed to class. I'm a little sad I missed out on her usual morning violin playing. Not that I would have heard much of it over Dana's music. It doesn't surprise me that I can smell weed and hear the sound of a spray can drifting from the bathroom. Rachel and Chloe are up to no good again, but I guess that's the company I keep. Victoria's usually got her door open or playing music, like Dana, but it's quiet this morning. I guess she went to class early too. I'd never seen her show up late to anything. Oh, the places you'll go, Max. Where to now? Go to the bathroom. When I reach the bathroom, I find Chloe smoking in the corner, slouching there with a joint pinched between her fingers. Rachel's busy adding graffiti to the opposite wall. Let's talk to Chloe. Having fun, Chloe? Chloe grins at me, giving her usual up to no good look. Yep, I'm totally getting lit over here. I groan and Chloe just bursts out laughing amid a cloud of sharp smoke. You're terrible, you know that? And you love it, but what's up? I'm pretty sure you didn't come over here for a hit. I lean up against the wall next to Chloe, nudging her with my elbow. I'm not a fan of how weed smells, but I've gotten used to being around it by now. It seems to chill Chloe out, and I'm all for anything that keeps her happy. Just wanted to see what my best friend's up to this early in the morning, and to ask what you think of MX Dog's surprise today. I can't figure out what it could be. Chloe shrugs, takes another drag, when she breathes out, the smoke twists and turns in the air before dissipating under the fluorescent lights. It makes me want to take a picture. Chloe laughs. I know that look. You want to take a photo, huh, hipster? 5 years apart or not, Chloe still knows me so well. She proves it all the time. I could take 1,000 photos of Chloe and never get tired of her face. Is it that obvious? Chloe smirks at me and bumps the toe of her boot into my sneaker before sucking back on the joint again and exhaling through her nose. Save your photos for dogs class, Max. As for whatever the surprise is, I don't know. I'm just glad we made it into the same class this semester. Just like when we were in elementary school, huh? I grin. Chloe may look all... Oh, shit. Whoops. There we go. Chloe may look all punk rock on the outside, but I know on the inside she's still the girl I used to watch anime and play pirates with. My crazy, rebellious, amazing friend. She didn't have the blue hair when we were little, but she's always had a wild heart. I'm glad we are together too. Chloe smiles at me. Anyway, I want to be good and buzzed by the time Chloe starts. So, I want to be good and buzzed by the time class starts. So, I need to finish this thing. I'll catch you later, Supermax. See you soon, Chloe. Alright, so we just go back to the hall. Then we go to class. If I go straight to class, I won't be able to go back and talk to Kate, Rachel, Victoria, or Chloe. I already talked to Chloe, so gonna head off to class. Once I enter the classroom, I head to the back and sit down in my usual seat. Contrary to what Chloe would have you believe, I don't sit back here to slack off like she does. I sit back here because I'm centered right by where MX Dog usually lectures. Speaking of Chloe, I can see her sauntering in with Rachel. She grabs a couple of chairs and drags them noisily across the tiles so that she and Rachel can sit with me. Chloe looks like she's already prepared to nap all the way through class. Rachel, on the other hand, she's got top marks even though she's more into being in photos, not taking them. She's already got her textbook open and she's running a paint-stained finger down the page. Victoria walks in just a moment later with Taylor on the side. She glances at me and then immediately looks away when she catches me looking back. Her lips are pressed together in a hard line as Taylor chatters in her ear. I guess she's not in a gossipy mood today. Kate's seat is over by the window. She mouths hello to me as she takes her spot. Fuck me, I yawned again. I'm not even tired. I don't know why I'm yawning. Organizing her books into a neat pile. That's just amazing right there because it's a mix of Mark Jefferson and Hot Dog Man. My God. You see, like, if that guy would ever kidnap me, I'd just, like, eat him whole, you know? It's like bite off his head, you know? Because he is a hot dog after all, so I assume you can eat him. Not in a sexual way, but in a survival way. You know what I mean? Survival way, it's like, it's him or me. If I have to eat him to survive, I will eat him. Like, I guess you wouldn't have to eat all of him, just his head, you know? It's the top part. Anyway, where was I? Good morning, class. What a lovely Monday morning. There's a few grumbles here and there. Chloe's is the loudest. MX dog ignores them all. As you all know, I told you last week I'd have a big surprise coming today. Well, the day has come for me to announce the second annual Blackwell photo contest. I can feel butterflies literally explode in my stomach. Oof. Next to me, Chloe and Rachel shoot me looks. Called it. Victoria stiffens in her seat and sits up a little straighter. Kate smiles, of course. She's as bright as the spot of sun she's been sitting in. Now, this contest will be a little different from last year's. You'll have to pick a partner because the contest motive is the bounds between people. This doesn't mean you both have to be in the photo, although that's not against the rules. The photo can be of anything. Your bond will be expressed by working together. Oh, fuck me. Why am I yawning? Seriously. I want to see all kinds of photos represented. I encourage all of you to enter. At the end of the week, each pair will submit their photo. Of course, I'll be judging to pick the winner. As for the prize, the winner will have their photo displayed in front of the entrance of the main building and a feature in the Blackwell totem. We only have until Friday? Shit, if I wind up entering, I'm going to have to start thinking about it right away. Who am I kidding? Of course I'm going to enter. MX Dog turns to survey the class, hands on their hips. There. Not he or she, just there. One thing you should keep in mind, be certain of who you choose for a partner, because you can't change once you've picked. You will both need to work together to create your photo. No cooperation, no entry. I'm starting to feel a little bit nervous about this whole thing. Sure, I've been taking photos for as long as I can remember, but I've never collaborated with someone else like this before. If you plan to enter, I need you to pick your partners before the end of today's class so that I can add your names to the registration sheet. Double shit. I have no idea who to ask and almost no time to make up my mind. Fidgeting nervously, I glance around the classroom. I can already see people murmuring one another about their plans. Chloe, who's half asleep, raises her eyebrow at me when I meet her gaze. I guess she wasn't so zoned out that she wasn't listening. Rachel winks when I look at her, and I think about how much practice she's had posing for photos. Everyone knows that she wants to be a model. Kate waves her fingers at me, smiling encouragingly. I can't say that word. She doesn't have to say anything for me to know she thinks I should enter. Victoria, she stiffens a little, but she doesn't look away immediately. This time, she holds my gaze. I'm not sure if she's issuing a challenge. The choice is mine. I could ask anyone. Nothing stopping me but my own shyness. The worst that could happen is that I'll be turned down. Which honestly seems completely mortifying. If I'm going to be real here, but If I'm going to be real here, but I'll be even more disappointed with myself if I don't enter at all. Who should I ask? Of course we're gonna ask Chloe. Are you sure you want to choose Chloe? Yes. There's nothing like the tried and true. I know Chloe'd I know Chloe'd be willing to help me. It's practically cheating to ask her. But if the theme is bonds between people, then what better choice than my partner in crime? I lean over the desk towards her. Hey, old faithful. Chloe snorts. That makes me sound like something that should be taken out behind a barn and shot. It's a geyser. Oh, it's a gazer, not a dog. Whatevs. Chloe's mouth twitches. She reaches up under her beanie, knocking it askew as she combs her fingers through her hair. Yeah, will you pretty please help me with the contest, dearest Chloe? Her voice is pitched up. She sounds like a mouse. I do not sound like that. Yes. No, I don't. I mean, yes, I'll help you with the contest. And you do sound like that. A little. Wait, really? Your voice gets a little... I give her a shove, laughing. No, the contest. You want to enter. Duh, I'll finally get to ride the victory train with you. My heart swells. I was sure that Chloe would help, but hearing her say it feels really good. We've always stuck together on everything. At least we did before I had to leave. We were at one another's sides for so many years. Almost all of my best memories have Chloe in them. Sometimes I wish we could go back to those days, but we're still as symbiotic as we ever were, even if we are pretty different now. Different interests, different styles, but still friends. That's how I know that what we have is real. Well, that's if I win. It's not even up for debate. You'll blow it out of the water. We're interrupted by MX Dog trailing back to the front of the classroom and clearing their throat. Alright, I've got to get into today's lecture. If you haven't picked a partner yet, then be sure to do it before class lets out. I settle back into my seat as the lesson begins, but I can barely focus. All I can think about is the contest. Why am I yawning? I don't get that. When class lets out, it feels like hours, and I leap out of my seat. Chloe takes her time getting up, reaching to scratch herself under her arm. I think my buzz is wearing off. It's school's fault. Nothing's ever your fault. Not at all. I grin. That's my Chloe. So, this contest thing, you're gonna help me see another A+ for the first time in like 4 years, right? Chloe, it's a contest, not an assignment. Right, we split the $1 million. I'm not so sure we are going to win $1 million. We split the, what, half mil, quarter, 10 grand. Chloe, winning is its own reward. Jesus, calm down there, Pollyanna. We can decide what to do with the prize after you win. I'm pretty sure there is no prize, and it would be us winning, not just me. As you say, I'm just here for the victory train, remember? More like the gravy train. Gravy? Chloe clutches her stomach dramatically. I already know what she's gonna say. Maybe we can go to the 2 Whales tomorrow morning. Genius, Max. If I can hold off on my cravings for that long. Can you believe Joyce still won't do takeout? Actually, yes. I completely believe that. Well, I'm gonna go blaze my way through class, literally behind the bleachers, cause I'm not going to math class. Classic. My voice is dry, which Chloe picks up on, but it doesn't seem to bother her. I'll text you later. I'll be waiting for it. What the hell am I yawning? Chloe cuffs me on the shoulder, and then she grabs a bag and goes to sneak off to a smoke out spot, while I go to MX Dog's desk to give them our names for the registration sheet. I'm glad I asked my best friend to be my partner for the contest. Chloe's no photographer, but if it's about bonds, then we've got this on lock. I hope. Tuesday. Alright, so I'm just gonna save it here because I keep yawning. I'm gonna go make myself a coffee, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I am now back, and for some reason, when I saved this game, it was in number 4, as you can see up there. When it wasn't at 1, I saved it in 4 for some reason. Anyway, let's go back to the game. The breakfast rush at the 2 Whales Diner always takes me by surprise, even though I've been coming here since I was a kid. The atmosphere is always electric, the frenetic energy of the bustling staff. The impatient, hungry chuckers perched at the lunch counter like hulking, churlish birds on a wire. The sleepy locals slumped in the booths over the steaming mugs of coffee. I've been here nursing my own coffee for 10 minutes now. This morning I woke up to a text Chloe sent at 2 a.m. asking me to meet her at the diner at 8 sharp for breakfast. She's late, of course. I probably should be more annoyed than this, but I'm kinda used to it. Chloe tries, but she's never been able to keep a schedule. It's kind of a miracle she manages to make it to her classes on time, most days. I suppose this means I should be more worried about asking Chloe of all people to help me with my entry for the photo contest. But Chloe's never let me down when I've needed her. Not ever. And she's not starting today. I can't stop the smile that spreads across my face when Chloe enters the diner. She scans the room, panting a little, looking disheveled. When her eyes light on mine, her face breaks out into a grin of its own, and she makes a beeline towards our booth. Hey, sorry I'm late. She slides into the booth with effortless cool, shooting me her most charming, apologetic smile. You mad? Nah, I can never be mad at you. I laugh, shaking my head and taking a sip of my coffee. This is actually pretty punctual for you. I'm impressed. Chloe laughs too, looking visibly relieved. She slumps back into the booth, beaming playfully and knocking her foot against mine beneath the table. I know, not bad, right? Chloe grins at me like we're kids again, like we're sharing a secret. Even though I've been back in Arcadia Bay for a year now, there's something about being on the receiving end of her smiles again that still kinda takes my breath away. I can tell I'm staring at her with what must be the dopiest look on my face, but I can't help it. Deliberately, I drag my eyes from her face and scan the diner, licking my lips. You hungry? God, yes. Chloe cranes her neck dramatically, looking around the diner. Where is Joyce anyway? I'm gonna die of starvation before she even takes my order. Then she'll be childless, and you'll be partnerless, and my sad, hungry ghost will be forever bound to the two whales, cursed to haunt greasy truckers and painfully slow wait staff for eternity. Not so fast, Casper. Chloe snorts. I kick her lightly beneath the table and continue despite the interruption. Joyce, you'll be out with your food in a minute. It's like flipping a switch. Chloe's face lights up, the previous conversation immediately stricken from her memory. She leans forward, seizing my hands in hers and dragging them across the table. Max, you've been my best friend since we were kids. My first mate, my partner in crime. And now the girl who buys me breakfast. I'm ready to take the next step. Max, will you do me a great honor of marrying me and buying me food for the rest of our lives? She's been doing this more and more lately, saying things that could just be joking but could also be, well, flirting. I just can't figure out if Chloe's being deliberately confusing or if I'm such a colossal social dunce that I can't tell the difference. Chloe waggles her eyebrows, squeezing my hands playfully. Max? I laugh awkwardly, feeling a blush rise on my face, and yank my hands out of her grip. Who said I'm buying? Chloe pouts, bottom lip jutting out dramatically. You know, I did just offer to spend the rest of my life with you. The least you could do is offer to pay for my... Wait, what did you get me? Eggs and bacon, I know she likes that. Your favorite, bacon, sides of eggs. Lol, I got your oatmeal. Yeah, that's a real turn off. Chloe slams her palms down on the table excitedly. Oh damn, now we're talking. Joyce bustles out of the kitchen a few minutes later, expertly balancing trays loaded with breakfast foods. Chloe smirks mischievously, leaning forward in the booth, no doubt with something cheerfully antagonistic on the tip of her tongue. But the morning rush is so hectic that Joyce barely has time to set our plates down in front of us before tearing off across the restaurant to attend the family of 5 that just filed up the last free booth. Chloe looks briefly disappointed that she lost the opportunity to annoy her mother, at least until she remembers there's food in front of her. Chloe eats with a sort of single-minded ferocity not uncommon to wild dogs. She's got about the same level of manners too, I remember. I remember thinking of all the time she'd stolen food right off my plate and unconsciously hunching over my meal when she looks up and starts eyeing my muffles. You gonna finish that? No, it's all yours. I roll my eyes, taking one last bite and pushing the plate across the table to her. Chloe perks up, eagerly accepting the extra food. Thanks, Max. So, I bet you're pretty pumped to get started on your project, huh? I bite my lip, shifting my gaze from Chloe's eager face to the window facing the street. I watch a few cars pass by, trying to gather my thoughts. I guess I'm excited, but I glance back to Chloe, unable to stop the smiling that tugs at the corner of my mouth. She always knows when there's something I'm not saying, but I'm pretty nervous too. I still can't believe I actually volunteered for the contest. I can. Chloe says it like it's just a fact. I feel butterflies flutter in my stomach, nervous for a whole other reason now. Confidence has always seemed to come as easy as breathing to Chloe, and I get it. She's tough and beautiful and smart than she gives herself credit for. That all makes sense. but it's her unwavering confidence in me that I just can't wrap my head around sometimes. Max, you're like the best photographer in school. I know sometimes you get all in your head about this shit, but it's really not so complicated. Of course you're gonna kill it here. I smiled gently back, hearing the hesitance at the end of her sentence. But Chloe smiles bashfully, cheeks flushing just slightly, looking up at me through a fringe of blue hair like a kid with a hand in a cookie jar. But it was kind of surprising you asked me to help with your project. What? Chloe shifts in her seat. The food is gone now. She has nothing to distract her from the conversation, so she grabs a packet of sugar from the center of her table, tearing it open and pouring the contents out into shapes on the tabletop. Joyce is gonna be so pissed. I mean, there are lots of, good photographers in that class, Max. I basically only took photography so I could hang out with you and Rachel at school a few times a week. Chloe, you're a few times a what? A few times a week. Okay, yeah. I didn't misread that. Chloe, you're my best friend. There's no one else I'd rather have in my corner for stuff like this. Chloe looks up from the pile of sugar she was carefully shaping into swirls in the center of the table. Best friend? Her tone is light, but the look on her face makes me feel like I didn't say quite the right thing. My first mate, my partner in crime, the girl I buy breakfast for. Chloe's face breaks out into a wide grin, cheeks pink. In that case, can I order another? No. Chloe laughs. Worth a shot. So I guess we better get started on this thing. The rules say you need to take your photo somewhere in Arcadia Bay. Do you know where you want to go? Hey, you decide, best friend. Actually, why don't you tell me where you want to go? Chloe had pulled the beanie off her head and tugged it down over my eyes as soon as we got into the truck. I had wanted to pull it off, but she levied the vague threat of swift retribution against me. Remembering all the retaliatory pranks she had unleashed on those who had dared to oppose her in her childhood, I decided to play along. Even with my eyes covered, I had felt the excitement radiating off her for the entire drive. I can't deny I'm eager to see what Chloe has in store when the truck finally rolls to a stop. Sit tight. I hear the car door open and close. Then a moment later, I feel the door on my side open. She leans across my body, unbuckling my seatbelt for me and wrapping a hand around my elbow to guide me out of the cabin. I stumble away, my clumsiness trumping Chloe's best efforts to help me. She catches my weight under her body, steadying me with one hand on my hip, the other still gripping my arm. Whoa there. Sorry. I can feel myself blushing, for once grateful that the beanie obscures so much of my face. You okay? Her voice is so close and quiet. The gentle pressure of her fingernails against my hips makes my heart beat faster and I nod dumbly. You ready? I can hear the excitement in her voice. A fluttery feeling blooms in the pit of my stomach. I'm excited too. Yeah. Chloe yanks the beanie off my head and I squint against the sudden explosion of light. Oh. I look around, taking in the heaps of rusted metal, the scraggly weeds, the towering evergreens looming in the background. It's amazing. Amazing. Wow, Chloe. It's stalky, but I'm actually kind of awestruck by the atmosphere of the place. There are so many things around. Old vehicles, decommissioned signs, busted appliances, everything with its own story, each piece a unique offering. This place is perfect. Chloe beams at me, shoving her hands in her back pockets and rolling back on her heels. You think so? Yes, God, I can get so many cool shots here. I'm so glad you can see it, The potential here. Chloe trails off looking thoughtful. After a beat of silence, she turns around fixing me with a mischievous smirk. Let me show you around. Chloe takes off with a little skip, grabbing the sleeve of my sweater and pulling me behind her. She leads me on a whirlwind tour around the yard. We weave between stacks of rusted out car bodies, pick our way carefully through jagged metal and broken glass, around a field of dented metal drums and old tires and rebar. It doesn't take long for me to start to understand just what Chloe loves about this place. There's a sort of serenity here among all the wrecks and the refuse. It's kind of beautiful. Chloe drags me over to an old trawler and offers to boost me up over the side. I decline. That thing looks like tetanus. Or tonight? No. Tetanus. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's tetanus. Tetanus waiting to happen, but Chloe just shrugs and hauls herself up the side with a cheerful disregard for her own personal safety. She struts around the top of a boat, posing and flexing, mugging for the camera like a charismatic jerk. She is when I fall back to snap a few photos. Oh no, it's the dread pirate Bluebeard here to plunder Arcadia Bay. R. Chloe's pirate impersonation is as hilariously bad as ever, and I can't help but laugh. Chloe rolls her eyes, offended, and casually flips me off. Shut up, landlubber. Don't think I won't make you walk the plank. She walks up to the tip of the bow and kicks over a chair, propping a leg up on the upturned seat. Fuck that Bluebeard shit. Call me Captain Morgan. I snatch another photo, grinning. Yes. Oh, so there's no yes. Why did I say yes? Captain More Gay. Pun. She laughs and hops down without warning, tossing me one of the metal curtain rods she had been waving around atop the trawler. What's this? Your sword. En garde. She takes a slow swing at me and I react on instinct, deflecting the blow with my curtain rod and leading us into a full-blown sword fight. She swings again and I react on instinct, deflecting the blow with my curtain rod. And it's bizarre because we've done this a dozen times. We're grown-ups now, but somehow playing pirates with my best friend is still easier than breathing. For as much as she's changed for all the hair dye and the tattoos and the weed smoked, and the occasional bad attitude, there are things about Chloe that are just fundamental. Like she can still make the dumbest, goofiest shit still seem fun and exciting. Her laugh still makes my heart skip. Her smile still warms me up from the inside. And she still gets way too cocky in a sword fight, leaving herself wide open. I feint to the right, almost feeling bad when she lunges predictably away, defense slipping. Almost. Chloe's eyes widen as my next swing comes down. She knows she's going to get sent straight to Davy Jones' locker. Frantically, she tries to dodge but ends up tripping over a stack of tires and landing right on her ass. Damn it. She sinks back into a pile of rubber in defeat, breathing heavily. I grin, feeling a trickle of sweat roll down my temple. Hey Chloe, maybe we should stop. You're looking pretty. Max, don't say it. Tired. Chloe groans and rolls onto her side. Slowly, she pushes herself up to a standing position, patting down her pockets. I'm not high enough to deal with this right now. Come with me. She leads me around a cinder block shed, along some train tracks, and back into the junkyard to a clearing behind the school bus. Chloe hops up onto the hood of an old car, patting the spot next to her and sparking up a joint. The metal is warm from the sun as I take my seat beside her. We're sitting so close I can feel her pinky brush against mine on the hood of the car. Tentatively, I reach over and hook my finger over hers, watching the slow smile that spills across her face in response. I'm really glad you wanted me to help you, Max. I already told you there's no one else I'd rather have helping me with this. Chloe speaks through a puff of smoke, looking out towards the trees. I know. Not just because of that, though. Sorry, something in my throat. I knew you'd be busy with this project for the rest of the week, and I really wanted to spend time with you. Max, I'm leaving. I feel like all the air has been sucked out of my lungs. What? Chloe winces and takes a hit of her joint to buy herself some time. I need to get out of here. I'm so sick of this town. I'm taking off at the end of the week. I just need to go someplace else for a while. You're leaving? Only for a couple of days. Or weeks. Look, I'm not sure exactly, but I'm coming back, alright? I'm taking off at the end of the week. You can't do that. Chloe, what the hell? You can't just leave. Chloe slides down the hood of the car, dragging the smoldering tip of the joint along the metal to stub it out. She spins on the balls of her feet as soon as she hits the ground, leveling a glare at me. Yes, Max, I can. I am. She pops her eyebrow like a challenge, mouth twisted into a scowl. My heart catches and I'm so mad for a second. Chloe and I don't fight often, but for good reasons. She's the only person who's ever been able to get under my skin quite like this. I open my mouth ready to argue again, and then I notice it. Chloe's hands tremble just barely when she goes to the truck, unfinished joint in her pocket. I pause, flicking my eyes back up to her face. She's still staring me down, ready to raise hell, but anger was always easy for Chloe than fear. I think about her nervous admission in the diner, the hesitancy in her voice when she told me she was leaving, and I know that my reaction now could break her. Okay, wait. Chloe's face goes slack with surprise before her defense comes back up. She shifts nervously in place, the look she's giving me now still worry, but less certain. What? I take a deep breath and pat the empty space next to me. Get back over here, come on. She hesitates, gnawing her bottom lip nervously. Chloe, please. Reluctantly, she takes a seat beside me again, propping her heels up on the front bumper and draping her arms across them. I don't want to fight with you, Chloe. So if you're really leaving, let's not spend our time together that way, okay? Okay. I've never been out of Arcadia Bay, Max, and sometimes it feels like I'll never be able to. And that's terrifying. I don't expect you to really understand, but I need you to trust that this is what I need right now, okay? It's rare to see Chloe so earnest. I smile despite the lump in my throat, the tightness in my chest. Okay. Chloe slumps forward a little relieved, and I finally get how tense she was before. This must have been eating her up. I reach out and take her hand again, and she perks up a little, shooting me a small but earnest smile. Guess we better get to school, huh? I smile back, squeezing her hand as she slides off the hood of the car and pulls me to my feet. Guess so. Her hand in mine is warm. I hold it for as long as I can. Wednesday. My head feels heavy when I wake up the next morning, and I swipe 4 times at my phone's alarm instead of the usual 2. It takes me a bleary couple of seconds of rubbing my eyes and stretching to remember why my mind feels so weighed down. Oh, Chloe. I promised myself last night I wouldn't be too upset about Chloe jet setting off, at least on the outside. I meant what I said yesterday. I do understand, on the logical level, why she wants to, and I really sincerely want her to be happy. And it would make me the biggest hypocrite in Oregon to call her out on leaving me behind at Arcadia Bay as she goes off to explore the world. I know that. But I've loved having her back in my life. It's taught me that some people really are irreplaceable. Chloe most of all. I'm not crazy about the idea of losing her again. Yeesh. Right after I told myself I wouldn't be mopey too. Time to get it together, self. I roll out of bed, start pulling my clothes and things together. What's really important now is to focus on Chloe. Make the most of our time together. I need to get morning muzziness out of my head first, but I'd really like to do something special for her. Make sure her parting memories of Arcadia Bay are good ones. Give her a compelling reason to come back. Okay, Max, you're going to miss Chloe. How about we dwell on that after she's actually left? Oh, and we're going to need to take a photo, and a good photo, an award-winning photo. Sometimes I feel like time is actively working against me. Time to go splash some water on my face. Max's sadness hour is over. It's about time this day got rolling. But of course, when the door swings open and the smell of weed hits me like a truck, my heart just goes speedy again. Hey, bedhead. Morning, burnout. She grins at me, lowering her joint and leaning back against the sink. She looks loose-limbed and carefree this early in the morning, arms bare and hair mused. Looks like she's waiting around to raise some hell with Rachel again this morning. I know I must look like a mess, but at least it's nothing she hasn't seen before. I cross by her to the sink to the left, leaning over it and splashing some water up into my face, exhaling against my fingers. Chloe's looking at me. I can feel it. You do it okay, Max? I straighten up and glance at her before patting off my face. Yeah, I'm fine. You know, I'm not a morning person. Who is? She's still looking at me a little searchingly. Her joint glows amber red between her fingers. You sure though? Your eyes are kind of... She makes a vague gesture with her hands indicating my entire face, which isn't exactly helpful. Or smudgy like, too small. Thanks. Thinking about you. Just thinking about you, I guess. At that, her grin spreads wide, shit-eating, and she leans towards me, bracing both hands on either side of the sink. Oh, really? For a second I just blink at her and she raises an eyebrow. Then I get it. Oh, you wish. I shove at her shoulder and she sways back laughing. I giggle too, and wish I hadn't already doused myself. It'd be suspicious to do it twice. And the contest too, but somehow you manage to distract me even when you're not there. Chloe grins and rubs her joint out against the sink. I'm counting on that. Anyway, Rachel will be here in a few minutes. Apparently today is going to be the big goodbye day. The word goodbye just drops another rock into the pit of my stomach, but I just nod. Is that your way of subtly telling me to get out of your Kool-Aid stained hair? First of all, how dare you suggest this color comes from anything but the finest bottle of Manic Panic Bad Boy Blue Amplified hair dye. Second, absolutely not, hippie. I was planning on running into you. She meets my eyes again, and I straighten a little, reach up to pinch a water droplet out of my bangs. Yeah, why? For one thing, you look cute first thing in the morning. Your hair's all floofy. As I'm brushing down my admittedly floofy hair with my fingers, she continues. Also, Rachel has me booked all day, but I wanted to know what your plans were. My plans? Yeah, hopefully I'll be free later on today. So if you wanted to do something like for the contest, or... She shrugs suddenly unsure and flicks her smudged joint into the stall across from her. It misses the drain by about 2 feet. But just the fact that Chloe's still thinking about the contest first, about me, even in the face of this huge shift in her life, I definitely want to hang out. But maybe today can be just a Max and Chloe day. She looks at me again surprised, then grins. Then just grins. Dude, every day is a Max and Chloe day, like fucking Thelma and Louise. Have you got something in mind? Not yet, but I will by the time this afternoon rolls by. It's a surprise. Chloe's eyes go even brighter. Sweet, give me something to look forward to as I suffer through all the Skater Bro tears. You gonna break their hearts? She just nods cheerfully. They'll get used to it. Her phone beeps and we both look down. Chloe checks the message, then shoves it back into her pocket. Rachel, she's waiting outside, apparently. She lives off this shit, you know? I mean, men's tears might make her younger or something. That doesn't sound like Rachel, mystical, powerful, and daunting. I mean, that does sound like Rachel, mystical, powerful, and daunting. Go easy, alright? I feel kinda bad for them. No promises. She reaches out and ruffles my hair with one hand. I'll catch you later, dork. And I'll text you when I can meet up. Okay, tell Rachel I'm expecting her to be the responsible one. She already knows, but we'll do. She winks at me, then slips out the bathroom door. So that gives me the half hour before class starts to think of something special for Chloe. Good Max, great forward thinking. Playing a balancing act of thinking about Chloe and get ready for class is even harder than I thought it would be. While I'm bummed she'll be cutting class and I won't be able to see her, it's not as though it's the first time she's ever done it. Also, I'm kinda glad to be lined up as the person she comes back to at the end of the day. Keeps me feeling significant. Even though I know it's probably poor planning to let the contest take a day off when we only have 3 contest days on. I think it's a good idea to have some time for Chloe and I just to focus on each other. Plus, if she's going to be busy for most of the day, that gives me a bit to plan for the photo in the meantime, and for what I want to do for Chloe today. I think I'd like to have something to give her, some kind of memorabilia to remind her of Arcadia Bay, or of me. For a moment, that makes me smile. The idea of White Knight Chloe receiving a token from her lady fair before setting off on her grand Arthurian journey. Then I catch myself. Geez, schoolgirl crush much, Max? I shake my head, push that more than semi-worrying thought out of my mind for now, and focus on thinking of a gift Chloe might like. After spending a couple of seconds looking around my room, I come up with what I think are 3 Chloe options. Pirate photo. Should I give it a pirate photo? Yes. I still have that photo of Chloe and I as pirate tweens in my dresser. We are still a little doughy faced and goofy, but we're both smiling bright. It's one of my favorite pictures of us together. but I have so many great photos for Chloe to hang onto while she's gone. I think that would be a sweet way to keep me and her thoughts pirate adventures together in spirit, at least. Maybe after class I can go out and buy a frame for it, spruce it up a little. Sounds like a plan. What's really important is making this day about Chloe. I want her to feel like I'm supporting her decision, not holding her back. It's hard walking the balance of knowing I'm really going to miss her and being happy for her, knowing she's doing what she wants to do. Chloe deserves the world and more, but I just hope her happy ending isn't one where we're apart. Mine definitely isn't. Her getting ready to leave is starting to make me really realize that. I'm starting to think I should have put that into words before this week. Just as I'm running the risk of riding the train back all the way into Mobesville, though, my phone beeps. Luckily too, because apparently I only have 2 minutes to get to class. I hurriedly shrug my bag over my shoulder, scrolling through my texts with my other hand. Looks like I'll be free around 4. That work for you? My schedule is totally clear. I'm at your beck and call. Intriguing. You gonna give me a hint about that surprise thing or what? Well, I think you'll like it. Dude, of course I'm gonna like it. More specific? Nope. I wanna watch you shiver with anticipation. You're lucky I love you because you are a pain in the ass. Just finish the damn whatever, okay? I'll see you at 4. Also, Max, thanks for doing this. I know you're busy with the contest and school and stuff, and it's great to be able to hang out with you still. I'm glad we can. Patient. Oh, yeah. Of course, nothing but the best for my BFF. Yeah, see you later. Don't be late for the date. Smiley face. I'm gonna start charging you for those, I swear. I end up skidding into MX Dog's class 3 minutes late, but even the darkest of Victoria's glares can't wipe the stupid grin off my face. It's 10 minutes to 4 and I'm actually starting to hope I can relay Chloe's chronic lateness. I end up getting to the Broadwalk later than I expect, scrambling to get my work done for class tomorrow and getting caught up in the brainstorming for the contest. In the end, I just decided to text Chloe asking if she would mind meeting up here. She's the one with the truck after all, and it's faster than Blackwell's bus, even if its upkeep is similarly doubtful. I dare you to say that to my truck's face. But okay, we'll meet you at Boardwalk. It's so atmospheric here too, it's hard to stay focused. All the bright colors of storefronts and the soft sounds of the sea in the distance make me want to soak up the atmosphere. This is one of the only places in Arcadia Bay that continually feels lively. I've always been more inclined to the quieter parts of town, especially for photography. But there's still something so magical about places like this on the border between civilization and nature. I wonder if Chloe's searching for more places like this, bustling, shining with color and sound. She's definitely someone who's drawn to places and people that present life with vigor. Is she even looking for something? Or is she just desperate to leave this place specifically? Well, it's not like I'm going to figure that out just by standing here thinking about it. The only person who can answer that question is Chloe. Right now, I need the time to make sure her gift is perfect. It was hard to decide what kind of frame to decorate the picture of tween Max and Chloe with, so in the end, I just picked a simple one. As usual, it's what's inside that really counts. Even framed, you can still see the photos. A little dog-eared and wrinkled from all the time I've had it. Hopefully, Chloe will find that endearing rather than careless. At the very least, it'll remind her that she's in my thoughts. I hope she'll like it. Just as I've held it up a little to inspect it against sunlight, I hear a shout from behind me. Max! I turn quickly, hiding both hands behind my back to see Chloe a few yards away, climbing out of her truck and beaming. Hey, I wave with one hand and try my best to be subtle, slipping her gift back into my bag as she starts ambling over in my direction. I barely have time to look back up again before Chloe's right in front of me, wrapping her arms around my waist and lifting me nearly an inch off the ground. Ark! God, you are a sight for sore eyes. Put me down. She does, her hand still settled on my hips, as she leans back to look at me, grinning at my half-hearted scowl. Don't pretend you're not happy to see me. Of course I'm happy to see you. That only makes her look more smug. So what was the damage? Chloe shrugs. Well, I think 6 years were added to Rachel's life. She told me to say hi, by the way. Wait, 6 years were added? 6 years were added to Rachel's life. She told me to say hi, by the way. I'll have to say hi back later. She's counting on it. Chloe lets go of me and starts moving towards the edge of the wooden slats beneath us. She gestures for me to follow, and I hurry to match pace with her again. So why'd we meet up here? Not that I don't appreciate the romantic atmosphere. No, romantic. The more she sort of flirts with me, the harder it is to react to it. Even harder to understand what she means by it. She looks back at me, and for a second, something uncertain flashes across her face. Then she chuckles and looks away again. Chill, Max. I know how you roll. Dinner and a movie, right? I'm not even sure if that's how I roll. I'm not sure Chloe does either, and that's even less comforting. Another time, maybe. Anyway, I actually needed to come here to pick up a few things. Chloe's eyes light up. She turns to face me, back and elbows balancing against the fence that separates sidewalk and sand. Like what? Like new film and she looks so eager as usual. She's seen right through me. Still, it could be fun to tease her a little longer. And more colored pencils and she's still grinning, but now she's starting to look a little unsure. I decided to cut her some slack. And something for you. She brightens, springing up straight again. I can't help but grin back, my hands coming up to wrap around my bag strap. Score, I knew it, subtle as a sledgehammer, Max. When she comes up to me, all the way in my space and eyes roving around me curiously, it's hard to stand my ground. I have to tilt my head back a little to look into her eyes. So, where is it? You sure you want it right now? Yes, give. One of her hands snakes underneath my arm towards my bag. I shiver involuntarily as it brushes against my waist, then smack it away, shoving the bag further behind my back. Grabby. Guilty as charged. Come on, Max, show me the money. I roll my eyes, but she just beams insistently at me. I reach back into my bag and withdraw it carefully. Okay, but it's your fault that there's no element of surprise. Chloe rolls her eyes when she sees the frame, but she's still smiling when she takes it from me. She looks over it for a moment, then her eyes widen. It's us. Yeah, baby pirates, Chloe and Max. Chloe holds the frame closer to her face, looking over with new interest. God, when was this taken? I think I'm missing teeth. Oh man, you still have that awful haircut. I wince and she laughs, but when I glance at her again, her expression is sombered, still staring at the photo. What is it? She glances up at me, surprised, and huffs a laugh and looks between me and the photo again. You're gonna make me miss you too much, dude. Oh, no shit. Don't read into that. This is cool. It's staying up front with me the whole trip. Thanks, Max. Just to make sure you're thinking of us little people from time to time. She bristles a little at that, tugging her jacket firmer over her shoulders. For a moment, I lose eye contact with her. Are you seriously worried about that? As if I could ever forget. As if that isn't the biggest thing to worry about when you find out your best friend is leaving for an indeterminate amount of time, especially when yours truly is guilty of exactly that. Still, I try to keep my tone light, coming to stand beside her, leaning back on the fence some. Well, you never know. I've heard there's a lot of world out there, Chloe. It's easy to get distracted. Distracted from what? I look at her, confused, and the look on her face startles me. It looks like she's really deep in thought, like she's trying to make a decision. Whatever the decision is, she seems to settle on it and looks back at me again. Her eyes are really determined and kind of intense. My mouth goes dry. I feel myself stand up a little straighter. Listen, Max, I wanted. She hesitates just for a moment, and in the space of that 1 second, her phone beeps. It's not a loud sound, but both of us jump. We glance at each other, and I giggle as she huffs and reaches for her phone. My heart is beating way too fast. It's Joyce. She wants me home early tonight so we can make dinner together or something. I'm barely given any thought to how Joyce must be taking this now. There's a pang in my chest. You should go, but we'll have tomorrow and Friday to hang out and work on the project. Besides, it's your mom. Chloe chews on her lip for a moment, then she looks up at me, suddenly bright-eyed again. Come back to my place. What? She grins at me, bottom lip between her teeth. Come on, it'll be great, and it'll make Joyce happy. You know, just like old times. Cooking dinner together, blanket forts, pillow fights. It's a Wednesday, I have class tomorrow, and we're definitely going to need to crack down and take the contest photo too. This is really no time to be staging impromptu sleepovers. But Chloe's still beaming at me, insistent and almost coquettish. I think that's the word, coquettish. I'm not too sure. Her eyebrows raised, one hand on her hip. If I say okay and regret it later, there's no one to blame but myself. Okay. But we can't stay up too late. It's like Chloe's whole body just illuminates. She straightens and claps her hands together like a kid, her grin stretching wide across her cheeks. Yes. And without much more ado, she grabs my hand and starts dragging me back towards her truck. This is gonna be hella awesome, Max. Joyce will definitely bring her cooking skills if you are here. I should definitely be feeling some regret or indecision about this poor choice of time arrangement. Just like how I should have felt self-control a few seconds ago. But Chloe's hand is really warm in mine. I'm so full I think I might never eat again. Chloe was right, and Joyce was excited to see me, probably because it meant another helping hand in the kitchen. The two of us ended up doing most of the work, which is likely the way Chloe planned it. Still, we made so much and ate so much that I don't think I'm going to be able to move again for another couple of hours. Chloe and I are on her bedroom floor now, sprawled underneath an admittedly very half-hearted blanket fort, made up of all the pillows we could find and a blanket propped up by Chloe's bedpost and her lamp. This is definitely a fire hazard, just like me. She's lying on her back, arms folded under her head, and I'm on my elbows, leaning back. We've getting tongue-tied. We've drawn our knees up to conserve space, but our legs are still bracketed around each other. I'm exhausted. It's only, 7-ish. That's not a bad thing, though. Maybe we'll get to bed at a reasonable hour after all. Chloe grins, shifting a little to spread her arms out wide. Reasonable hour? Oh, right, because of the contest. Have you started coming up with a game plan yet? I tilt my head back. Chloe doesn't pay a lot of attention in photography class, but I know she'll do her best with whatever I ask of her. The contest is a lot of pressure on its own, but having Chloe's goodwill resting blindly on me is heavy too. Sort of. The junkyard was such a cool idea, Chloe. There's so much opportunity for a lot of different shots. Even though she's flat on her back, I can still see her preen. I grin up at the what? What the hell is preen? I have no idea. I grin up at the blanket. The tricky part will be trying to find a way to center the shot since there's going to be so much happening in the backdrop. But I'm not too worried about that. I mean, if you're the subject, I think there's a loud creak on the floorboard underneath us, and Chloe comes up onto her arms in a matter of seconds, eyes wide and wincing as her wrists crack. If I'm the subject. Her surprise startles me too, and I nearly lose my balance, upsetting the blanket slightly and hitting my elbows a little too hard against the floor. I thought Chloe already assumed she would be the subject, but in retrospect, I guess that both of us were too distracted to actually talk about it. I turn a little red, kind of careless, Max. Yeah, I thought, but I didn't ask. Sorry. So if you don't want to, that's totally... No. I mean, I'll do it. She glances away, and it takes me a second to realize she looks a little shy all of a sudden. It's such an unfamiliar expression on her that it takes me a second to recognize it. If you wanted a model, you should have asked Rachel. You're eye-catching. You're plenty eye-catching yourself. The second it's out of my mouth, I feel a flush climbing up on my neck. Chloe props herself up higher on her elbows, grinning at me. Are you hitting on me? Now I'm the one that has to look away. She just laughs, but I can feel her still watching me, waiting. The point is, I'm not that worried about centering the shot if you're the subject. When I glance back at her, she just nods mock thoughtful, then grins at me again before lowering herself onto her back again, hands behind her head. Sure, okay, well, if you're not worried, I'm not worried. Well, I think that covers the topic. Besides photography is something that happens in the moment. It's not really something you can plan out in advance. It's kind of romantic that way. I look at Chloe again, but she's still looking up, away from me. I wish I knew what she was thinking about. Chloe and I can read each other so well, but there are still moments where I can't get in her head. The silence is broken a little by the sound of Joyce passing underneath the stairs, singing softly to herself. Chloe's fingers curl up. So you already talked to Joyce about you going? Chloe glances down at me in surprise, then grimaces and looks back up at the ceiling. I knew it would be an uncomfortable subject, but I'm hoping for the best. Yeah, I mean, it didn't exactly go smooth. She cried, Max. It was fucking brutal. I hummed sympathetically. Mum, tears are the absolute worst. But in the end, like, she understood. She wants me to be happy, kinda like what you said yesterday. She said she was the same when she was young too, her and my dad. She said with the gene pool I had, she shouldn't have expected anything less than a free spirit. Like a bird. I can't think of a better way to describe Chloe. Joyce may have come down to roost, but the Price women were meant for flight. Chloe grins lazily up at me, bird of prey. Then her grin falters and she comes up on her elbows again. What about you? Me? Yeah, are you a bird, Max? Her voice is light, teasing, but there's a serious sort of look to her face I can't quite decipher. Unsure, I just chuckle, lean back, and close my eyes. Sure. There's a sudden tug of my foot and I almost come unseated. I prop myself back up on my forearms and look back at Chloe in surprise. Her fingers are still wrapped around my bare ankle, and there's a searching, almost severe look in her eyes. I'm serious. Seriously asking if I'm a bird? Max. I could be, I think. One of her eyebrows raises and her thumb brushes past the knob on my ankle. I try really hard not to shiver this time, but she grins anyway. I kind of feel like she's testing me somehow. Well, I don't know if I am a bird, but I'd like to be one. Really free, getting to see so much of the world, going wherever it's warm. That's nice, and, that bird's eye view. When I glance up from her hand around my foot, she's staring at me. Her expression is curious, but she looks pleased, a smile tugging on the corners of her mouth, and I feel like I passed. Well, I think you could be one. She lets go of me and comes up to sit a little straighter, both of us curled forward towards each other. Thanks, Ollie. That means a lot coming from a professional peacock like you. Fuck you, I'd be a way cooler bird. Anyway, between you and my mom and Rachel and everyone who actually matters knows now. Well, that's good, right? No loose ends. She looked away from me again, lips curling a little. I hate putting it like that. Something's definitely up with her. I'm not sure if it's something I'm supposed to ask after or leave alone. But Chloe knows I'm nosy, so I think she expects it when I push myself forward on my hands towards her. Are you feeling okay? She glances at me surprised, then away again. I'm fine. Nervous? That gets her to look back again, and for a minute I think I misstepped But then she gives an airy, disbelieving chuckle. Kinda. I nod, trying for a sympathetic and knowing expression, but I must screw it up because she immediately shakes her head. It's not what you're thinking. I'm not nervous about, like, driving or where I'm going to go or whatever. It's just her mouth keeps moving for a moment after her voice trails off, and it's unsettling. I don't think I've ever seen Chloe wordless before. Her lack of a brain-to-mouth filter is worrying sometimes, but at least it's consistent. This time I have to lean to the left to catch her eyes again, and she meets them, a little wary. Then tell me what I should think. Chloe, I'm not mad at you. You know that, right? I just want to know what's going on with you. I want to get it, like you said yesterday. It's not like you owe me explanations or anything, but you know you can still tell me anything, right? Whoop, get rid of this. And I'll listen. I want to be there for you. It startles me when she leans forward, not breaking eye contact. For a second, our faces are very, very close. Then she crosses her arms around my knees and rests her chin there, looking up. You already are here. Her calves are pressed in around mine, arms heavy where they are draped over my kneecaps, and I swallow. She's grinning up at me, cat-like and intrigued. Come on, I was being serious. I curse myself for stuttering, but Chloe doesn't seem to notice, just pushes herself off my knees again. I'm being serious too. Max, it's just cool that you're here. It's cool that we can still hang out and that you're making this time for me and being a dumbass. But she just laughs, stretching her arms over her head and then flipping up the edge of the blanket beside her. Chill. Anyway, I'm in a movie mood. It'll help us digest. You got any suggestions? Well, I know that's the one Max likes, but I don't know what Donnie Darko is. Let's go. Achievement unlocked. Found 10 achievements. Bonus photo unlocked. Because I've played this game before. Well, there's nothing like the classical. Chloe groaned so lately I think it hurts her. Dude, if you ever make me watch that fucking anime movie one more time. You've only watched it once and you fell asleep halfway through. Better than it deserved. You need to let it grow on you. I'll let fungus grow on me before that movie does, but whatever, let's go. She holds the blanket up for me as I wiggle out from underneath it, wrapping it under her arm as we head out of her room. Thursday. Alright, so I'm just gonna save it here. Yep, I'm just gonna go have dinner and then I'll be right back to read the rest. Hey everybody, I am back. I had Asian food for dinner, rice and some chicken, and that was really nice. Now I'm back to the video, so let's get going. I'm so jittery I can barely pay attention in class. Every time the light shifts I just get distracted thinking about what to do for the photo when I should text Chloe what kind of angle I want to take. Even if we don't win, this photo is going to be important to me and to Chloe. It's going to be the last thing we do together before she goes. It's going to be ours. I was almost late to class today anyway, which isn't helping my distraction. I forgot Chloe doesn't set alarms, of course, so I just woke up to Joyce's yelling for me and Chloe's elbows in my face. She'd only grumbled and rolled over when I untangled our legs, got dressed and hurried out the door, so she's probably still asleep. Just as I think so, though, my phone buzzes. I have to wait for the teacher to turn around before I can check it. Meet me out front in 10. In front of the school? Yes, Max, in front of the school. I look out the window a little anxiously, but of course she's not there. Knowing Chloe, she's probably just rolled out of bed, waking and baking as I think about her. My class ends in 10 minutes. I have another one starting up in 20. I know that Chloe knows that. I don't know what she's planning yet, but whatever it is, it's probably something totally irresponsible, something Joyce would shake her head disapprovingly at the very least. I shove my phone back into my pocket and do my best to focus back on the lesson. I'm too old for Chloe's shenanigans to be giving me butterflies. Chloe isn't out front when I hurry outside after class, so I'm stuck waiting for 5 minutes, checking between the road and the time and worrying about the class and Chloe in regular intervals. I'm checking my phone for the 5th time when there are 3 sharp honks from a car horn, and I look up to see Chloe's truck parked out in front of the academy steps, her grinning at me from inside. Hey there. I hurry over, slipping my phone back in my pocket and folding my arms up on the gap left by the open window. Hey. Excited to see me? Naturally. That just makes her grin wider at me, and I just smile back, leaning forward a little so there's less of a barrier between us. Can't get enough of me. You really won't get off my case this week. At first she looks startled, then when she sees my expression, which I'm sure is just a stupid grin, she just beams at me, scooting closer to the window so we're face to face. Don't pull this on me, Caulfield. You're the one who wanted to partner up in the first place. Because I knew no one else would bear to put up with you. She gasps in mock offense, pressing a hand to her chest, then she just grins again, leaning forward a little more. No one else will be able to handle me. I'm about to retort, hopefully with something snarky and clever, but then our noses brush. I hadn't realized she'd gotten so close. Out of instinct, I lean back a little, surprised. Chloe blinks at me, then gives me a nervous chuckle and leans back too. Anyway, speaking of, what do you say we get this show on the road? You seriously want to ditch right now? You seriously don't? Chloe, I have class in right now, actually. You do too, if I'm remembering correctly. You are honestly such a square. As I'm giggling at her unironic use of square as an insult, she just rolls her eyes in my direction and goes on. Come on, dude, if there was ever a reason to cut class, it's to do this. You're pursuing your passion or whatever, right? Don't pretentious art schools like Blackwell have an addendum that excuses absences if you're inspired or something? I doubt it. And your best friend who's leaving town tomorrow is telling you to. Well, and the sky's really pretty right now. Look. I don't know if she's being sincere or just teasing me, but when I tilt my head back to look up at the sky, it is really pretty. A clear blue leaching out from the fading pinks and purples of early morning. I sigh. Let's go. Let's go then. Chloe raises an eyebrow but reaches forward and unlocks the door anyway. Geez, I thought you'd be hard to sell. I climb up into the truck, toss my bag underneath my feet. What made you think that? You always get so whiny whenever I try to get you to do something. What's the word you like? Delinquent, right? She pouts in my direction for show, and I laugh and shove at her shoulder. Who's whining? She chuckles, spinning her keys around one finger. I lean back and watch them circle. Besides, it's not like convincing me to be with you is that hard to sell. The keys fly off her hand and hit the dash, and I flinch at the sound before glancing back at her in surprise. She'd wince when the keys crashed against the car too, but now she's just looking at me a little wide-eyed. This time I can't help but get kind of flustered. Honestly, Max, could that have sounded more gay? No, I get it. I know, I'm irresistible. Among other things. All good things, though. I just chuckle, unable to deny it, and reach down to get her keys back for her. She turns the car on, the truck kicking a few times before rearing into action. Alright, let's bail before the dog freaks. I'm sure they'll understand. I mean, the deadline was so short, I bet tons of people are scrambling. Dude, who cares? You are officially... She pauses for a few seconds, just long enough to pull out of the academy property off Blackwell campus. God, living at that school must really fuck with your head. No worrying about classes or deadlines or homework for the rest of the day, alright? If you say so. Nope, you're the one in charge here, Max. You're calling the shots. Oh, get it? Calling the shots? Like it's a photo pun. You're hilarious. I know. Anyway, I want you to say I'm not going to worry about class or deadlines or homework for the rest of the day. Okay, I won't. Word for word. I just roll my eyes trying not to giggle. I fail. Isn't paraphrasing good enough? Chloe scoffs, and suddenly the truck slows to what's basically a crawl. Chloe leans back lazily against the seat, looking at me sideways. I mean, I guess it's passable, but so is, reaching our destination 2 hours from now. Chloe, I'm not going to worry about class or deadlines or... You're such a pain in the ass. I end up having to deliver it through giggles. I'm not going to worry about class or deadlines or homework for the rest of the day. Happy? And my best friend Chloe Price is going to have my undivided attention. I smile at her, leaning back against the seat. And my best friend Chloe Price is going to have my undivided attention. She grins back at me, revving the car back up to what's probably a little above the speed limit. And also, I'm finally going to admit she's the hottest person I ever in your dreams. She laughs high and pleased, and I smile, facing forward again and settling further down into the cracked leather. My eyes catch suddenly on the reflection of glass up against the dash. Oh, it's the photo of Chloe and me, tweeny pirates, the frame vibrating along with the buzz of the truck and glinting in the sun. Chloe follows my gaze and chuckles. I'm gonna need to tape it down or something. But geez, how am I gonna commit any misdemeanors when I've got this face following me around? She flicks one finger against Tween Max's face, twisting her face up in a forced scowl, and I just grin pleased. You say that like it's a bad thing. It is a bad thing. Still though, she can't keep up the scowl when she looks back at me. Thanks though, it's nice. Sure. Alright, enough of this mushy shit. Let's get this show on the road. She brings us up to 10 miles per hour over the speed limit, and then we're really on our way. The sky is pure blue when we reach the junkyard, bright and clear, and it makes me feel optimistic despite the butterflies starting to take flight in my stomach. Don't make that face. What face? This one. She pulls some kind of exaggerated pout. I definitely do not make that face. Yeah, you do. It's the face you always make when you're worried about something. But you shouldn't be worried. You're going to take an amazing picture. How do you know? Because it's you. But it's not going to get taken if we just sit here and mope about it. Come on, let's go. She grins at me and climbs out of the truck, coming around the side of the truck to let me out. How gentlemanly. Well, I'm with a lady, so what are you thinking for the shot, Max? I look around carefully. There's so much to catch the eye here. Overturned appliances and metal shining in the sunlight, and the bright colors of the blue trees and sky above. Max? What do you think? Well, what do you think? She glances at me surprised. What do I think? Shit, Max, you're the professional here. And you're my partner, right? We're doing this together. Dude, I'm just here for the ride because you asked me. Because there's no one I'd rather be with for this. Come on, not even a sarcastic thought? I glanced around the junkyard again, uncertainly, and when I glanced back at Chloe, she's a lot closer than before. Like a lot closer. You really mean that? Mean what? That there's no one else you'd rather be with? I can feel her breath on my face. Well. Then suddenly she grins. You're so easy. What? There's a sudden sharp bonk to my head, and when I gasp and step back in surprise, Chloe just laughs, tossing me a stick and leveling a second in my direction. Preemptive strike, on guard, Max. Oh, you're so dead. I go after her and she laughs, taking 2 steps forward and swinging at me again. It feels different than it had even just 2 days ago, goofing off and playing Pirates of Chloe. Heavier and more valuable now that I know it's not going to last. Still, it's hard to feel that weight of wistfulness when Chloe's poking me in the ribs with a broken tree branch, laughing like there's nothing to worry about, lit up all blue and smiling against the sky behind her. Get your head in the game, Max. What? You're the one. Suddenly I lose my footing and go tumbling backwards, landing flat on my ass between a moldy mattress and another stack of tires. Damn it. Chloe, exceptionally smug, steps over my knees and crouches down just above my hips, tipping my chin up just slightly with her stick. On the turntables. Yeah. And now for my victory speech. Oh, Arcadia Bay, thou hast seen the most glorious sight in this holiest day. You're crazy. Well, you make me crazy. The grin slips a little off her face, but she doesn't stand up. Instead, she just looks at me more intently, tossing the branch aside and crossing her arms over her squatted knees. I'm still trapped between her calves. How crazy. I sit up, but she doesn't move. She's looking at me like she's trying to figure out an answer, but I don't know what the problem is. What do you mean? Like, she trails off a little bit, breaking eye contact. I try to peer into her face, and when our eyes meet again, she seems to get some conviction back. Like, if I asked you to do something actually crazy, something maybe kind of stupid, would you? Probably. I'd do anything for you, Chloe. I probably would. Chloe's eyebrows rise. I shift up a little higher, leaning forward a little, so even though she's still crouched over me, we're face to face. Even if it was something really stupid, like that narrows it down. She makes a face at me, but there's a smile tugging at her mouth, and she holds it back the way she does when I've said something that's pleased her, but she doesn't want me to know how much. I love seeing her smile though. I go fishing for it. Yeah, I still would. You make me crazy and stupid. That gets the grin to really blossom across her face, and I grin back, feeling warm and kind of ridiculous and just stupidly happy. That's good to know. She stands abruptly and reaches down with one hand. I take it, and she tugs me to my feet. That's it. What's the stupidest thing you're gonna ask me to do? It was a hypothetical question. Hypothetical, my ass. Chloe, come on. She just laughs, squeezes my hand, and tugs me forward. Come on, I can't help you out with an artistic vision or whatever, but I can show you a better vantage point. She leads me to one of the biggest fixtures in the junkyard, the rusty and slightly lopsided school bus, and looks at it appreciatively, hands on her hips. Then, without too much ado, she moves forward and scales it. A second later, she's beaming down at me, cross-legged and smug. Up and at him, Supergirl. Chloe, I'm going to die. She grins at me, then gets up, crouching down and offering me a hand. If it were just your clumsy ass here, sure, but come on, I won't let you fall. I eye her skeptically for another second, but she just beams relentlessly back. You better not. I reach up for her and she pulls me up, letting me brace myself on the rusty walls and the window that creaks worryingly under my feet. For a second I wobble and my hand tightens around hers. Jeez, Max. She gives my hand sorry, something in my throat. She gives my hand a sharp tug and I come shooting up onto the top of the bus, her other hand going to the small of my back to steady me. Whoa there. You good? We're so close together again. Her hands are callous and warm. I'm good, thank you. Sure. She just keeps looking at me. I end up being the one to pull away first, closing one hand into a fist and lifting the other over my eyes to survey the junkyard from above. This is great. You can see everything from up here. Yeah, I like it. It's relaxing. I hear her shuffling around behind me, then a creak of metal beneath us. I turn and she's taken a seat again, a joint dangling between two fingers and a lighter in her other hand. I grin at her, reaching into my bag for my camera. Well, I'm glad you're coping with stress in a mature fashion. Don't knock it till you tried it, Max. I grin at her and almost turn to survey the landscape again, lifting the camera slightly, but then pause to just watch her. She doesn't pay me too much mind, just lights her joint and brings it to her lips, exhaling grey. She's beautiful like this, all faraway expression and loose limbs, amber glowing soft orange between her fingers. Wait. She glances up at me, about to lower her joint, but I quickly wave my hands. Don't move, stay like that. She does, legs still propped up and joint burning soft colors between her fingers, watching me curiously as I scale back down the side of the bus. What are you doing? Stay like that. I settle back down on the ground to take a few steps back, squinting up at her and taking a few steps from side to side, judging the light for sense of space. Chloe watches me for a minute, then just chuckles, shakes her head, and brings the joint back up to her mouth. She's such a weirdo. And just that, the way she draws her legs up a little higher, lifting her arm again and looking away, her expression going far, far away like before. I draw the lens up to my eyes and... sorry about that. where I draw the lens up to my eyes and snap a photo. Chloe lounging on top of the bus, smoking with the bright blue sky behind her. Wow. Pleased with yourself? This is it, Chloe. Both her eyebrows raise and she rubs the cigarette out against the roof of the bus, swinging her legs over the side. What do you mean? This should be the photo we submit. Are you serious? She hops down and comes towards me, leaning over my shoulder to look at the photo in my hand, warm against my back. But it's just, I glance over at her and she seems to struggle for a minute for words, glancing at me and then away. It's just me. Yeah, there's a feeling behind it. Look at your expression here. She takes it from me, frowning at once, one arm still over my shoulder. I mean, are you sure it's really just me smoking on a bus? Shit, is that even gonna be like incriminating? No, it'll be fine. I take it back from her, looking at it again. Chloe, lit and striking against the stark colors of a bus and sky. It's perfect. This is Chloe, this is how I see Chloe. Beautiful at the center of everything, almost far away enough to be untouchable. Almost. It almost has an Into the Wind kind of vibe to it. That finally gets Chloe to snort, squeezing my shoulders before letting me go. You're so pretentious. Besides, there's no way I'm ending up like that guy. I hadn't really meant it like that. I was just thinking of Chloe setting off into the wilderness, but now she's put an idea of getting lost out there I can't help but think about. You won't, right? Chloe angles a smirk over at me, but it falters when she sees my face. Jesus, Max, you're not actually worried about this, right? I trust you. I trust you, Chloe. I know you'll do what's right for you. I glance up at the photo again. I just think about you by yourself and I get worried, and I know I really shouldn't because it's you, but I'm cut off by Chloe wrapping both her arms around me, nearly lifting me off my feet with the force of her embrace. I'm surprised, but I do my best to hug her back, even though she's kinda got my arms pinned. Oh, it'll be okay, Max. I know, but no, I promise it will be. She doesn't say anything else, just hugs me for a little longer before letting go and looks a little bashful when she pulls away. She jerks her head in the direction of some car wrecks, quickly turning away. I don't totally understand, but I meant it when I said I trusted her, so I just followed. She sits down on the hood of one of the cars and I sit down beside her, looking carefully at the photo of her again. You're 100% sure that's the one you want to use? Yes, I think so. I've got a good feeling. Wait, use, was that right? Yeah, there was no right. I thought it said sure that's the one you want to use, right? But no, that's the one you want to use. Okay. Yeah, I think so. I've got a good feeling about it, and the contest is about feelings. Chloe just snorts. You artists and your feelings. Oh, don't give me that. She grins sideways at me, all teeth. Well, I mean, we are already here. I think we have enough time for a tiebreaker match. I grin back at her, sliding the photo back into my bag. I mean, if you're that eager to lose, cocky, we'll see. She goes off scrounging for makeshift swords, and I lean back on the hood of the car, watching her, fingers occasionally tapping at the thin, filmy photo still in my bag. Friday. I don't think I've ever been this jittery in my life. I came to class really early, mostly because of nerves, but there were already a lot of people there. I guess I'm not the only one anxious about submitting their photo, but no Chloe. For a second it doesn't really faze me because Chloe's always late, you know, typical Chloe. But then I remember Friday is Chloe's last day in Arcadia, and I have no idea when she's leaving. Wait, if she's already maxed. Ah, dude, you were totally zoned out. Ugh, you startled me, asshole. Yeah, that was pretty obvious. You had your nervous face on anyway, though, so I figured what's the harm. I was nervous you'd already skipped town, jerk. Chloe's eyebrows raise and she falls back on her heels a little, hands in her pockets. What, Max? No way. I'm still owed several over-dramatic goodbyes. Also, as if I'm gonna let you run the victory lap all by yourself. Before I can warn her that there might not be a victory lap, she keeps talking, reaching idly towards the back of her neck. Anyway, I need to give you this. I don't really realize what she's doing until she pulls her necklace over her head, bringing it down into one hand and stringing it out with the other. Oh, Chloe, you really don't have... Shut up, I want to. Anyway, it's for luck. She motions for me forward and I step into her space, a little shy. She lops it over my head with both hands, tugging my hair gently out from under the string as it passes. Her gaze is weirdly focused, following the necklace as it goes past my throat, my collarbone coming to a rest around my sternum, cool and surprisingly heavy. I feel like I've been staring at her face too long. Thanks. Because actually in episode 5, after you escape the dark room, it's like, well, not after you escape the dark room, but once you get free, if you pick up Chloe's necklace, and then leave the dark room, when you start playing again after you get out of the car, you'll see Max wearing the necklace. Where was I? Yeah. But thanks. No problem. For a second, she just lingers there, fingers loose and light near where the bullets lie low, close to my ribs. We're really close together. I still haven't looked away from her face. Then she falls back again, looking back up at me and grinning. Now we're definitely going to win. I've done my contribution. Your contribution was way bigger than a bullet necklace, Chloe, even though I really appreciate it, like, majorly. I just what? When I hesitate, she rolls her eyes and steps forward, tilting my chin up slightly with 2 fingers so our eyes meet. Out with it. I don't want to let you down. I just don't want to let you down. I mean, before I can go on, her fingers leave my chin and flick my forehead, light but sudden. Not possible. Max, I told you before, I don't give a shit about the contest. Well, I mean, I do because you care about it. But I just wanted us to hang out and have a good time and have you be happy with the photo, and we did, and you are, right? Her expression is genuinely questioning, and I stand up a little straighter, smile at her because, yeah, after all, she's right. Yeah, I'm happy. She brightens up, then ruffles my hair, grinning when I squawk and push her away. Good, me too. Well, I think someone wants to talk to you, so I'll catch you in class. Get your running shoes on for the victory lap, Max. Do some stretches. You do some stretches. She laughs, easing her way into the classroom in languid, carefree movements, and I watch her go, a little knot in my belly. I really don't want her to go. It's an awful cliche thing to have a crush on your best friend, but this week's really proved to me that I can't deny or ignore the way I feel about Chloe. She's the most important person in my life, and now it's possibly way too late to tell her. I don't know if I'd have the courage to even if time wasn't running out. I just want to be with her a little longer, at least. Or should I talk to you? Let's just stay seated. I think about talking to my other classmates, but I'm too nervous to keep making idle chat. I'm just going to sit and wait for class to start up and hope the butterflies go away. Alright, I know you're all excited, but I need to have you all seated. Have I got everyone's photos? Everyone's eyes are on MX Dog as they shuffle through the photos spread out on their desk. I'm really impressed by the amount of students that have entered this year. About half of every class has put an entry in. And now after these I can finally start deliberations. Lucky for you all, that means that you can use this period to study. The hum of chatter starts off immediately, quietly, and then dies down with some protests and groans. I'm kinda thankful for the opportunity to put my head down and open my textbooks, but although I try to focus, it's pretty hard. I guess Chloe and I aren't the only ones hoping to win. It feels like the longest hour of my life. Every time MX Dog moves at their desk, I think they're about to announce the winners and I jump a little. When they finally do stand up, clipboard in hand, I go rigid in my seat. I catch Chloe's gaze. She grins at me, then nods a little bit in encouragement. She doesn't look nervous at all, just supportive and satisfied, like we've already won. Goodness, this was so difficult. I know that the deadline was short and that a lot of you devoted much of your free time this week to your entry. I truly wish that I could award more than one winner. The theme of the contest, Bonds, was a broad concept, and I'm thrilled to see so many different interpretations of it here. That's what photography is all about. Personal experience, showing the world the way that you see things. That said, there is one entry in particular that truly embraces this theme. This photo captures a sense of wanderlust and youth embodied in the subject, with the photographer's empathy to this aura serving as almost a second lens. My heart skips a beat, or 10. There's no way they're talking about our photo. This unique vision of this novice photographer makes me think that we'll see some amazing things from them in the future, and hopefully they'll continue collaborating with their partner. So I'm extra pleased to announce the winners of the second annual Blackwell Photo Contest are Maxine Cofford and Chloe Price. Congratulations. The room erupts in applause and cheers, and I'm frozen in my seat for a moment, letting comprehension catch up with the rest of my body. I'm only just managing to get on my feet when Chloe's by my side, pulling me up by the hand and grinning so hard it looks like it hurts. You fucking won. She pulls me up by the upper arms, almost off my feet, and crushes a kiss between my eyes, almost hard enough to hurt. Vaguely I'm aware of Rachel Wolf whistling behind us, but my senses are pretty much completely overlaid by the shock and by Chloe beaming and bright and right in front of me. I'm dizzy when she sets me back down onto my feet, clutching at her elbows, and she grins at me, just pure delight. Oh my god, we fucking won. She groans with laughter, reaching down to squeeze both my hands. What did I fucking tell you? You're amazing. The bell rings and the class starts to filter out. The two of us are swept with congratulations and claps on the back for a few moments, and after some brief conversation with Rachel and Kay, it's just the two of us again. I can't believe this. I can't, Max. I knew you'd win, and you did, because no one can even compare to your photography chops. She's so excited, my cheeks actually hurt from smiling now. We won, Chloe. There's no way I could have done this without you. That just makes her smile softer, fonder, and she reaches down to squeeze one of my hands. Thanks, Max. I'm really proud of you, though. I'm glad we won. It's stupid, but I'm really glad. I want to better articulate it, how I'm glad that Chloe will have this memory that we're partying on a victory, that hopefully this will make her remember us first and foremost as an unbreakable bond. But before I can, she squeezes my hand again. It's not stupid, I totally get it. And you know what? We should go celebrate you. Right now, I'm gonna take you somewhere. My eyes go a little wider, I can't help it. The sun's already waning outside. I don't know what Chloe's planning for an exit time, but logically, I know I shouldn't keep her here and make her leave at rush hour. Right now? Right now. She looks so intent though, and I'd be an awful liar if I even tried to pretend I didn't want to monopolize her time. Okay, let's go. That brings her grin back up to full luminosity, and she reaches for my other hand and squeezes that one too before slinging an arm over my shoulder. Awesome. Max and Chloe taking their final victory lap around Arcadia Bay after all. You better not make me run anyway. No chance, I'm driving anyway. She pulls a little more firmly onto her side, and I can't help but lean against it, the warm and familiar way of her. Okay, let's go for a drive. You keeping your eyes closed? Yes, but no buts. I'm telling you when to open. So I keep them shut. I think I'm starting to get an idea where we are headed though. The air smells salty. A few moments later, the truck slows to a stop and I hear Chloe get out, then come around the other side to open my door, taking both my hands and gently guiding me out. Okay, open. I could hear the rush of waves already, but I still smile when I open my eyes and see the ocean there, and Chloe beaming in front of it. The sky's so pretty, that just makes her grin wider. All for you, I made a few calls. To the light pollution police. Yep, uptight sons of bitches, but at least they have a sense of atmosphere. I laugh and she does too a moment later. Without looking away from my face, I try to stay focused on her and the sea too. I know if I look behind me, all I'm going to see is her truck stopped for leaving. Her necklace feels heavy against my sternum. Suddenly I reach for it. I should give this back to you. Definitely served its purpose as a good luck charm. She looks at me in mild surprise, then startles me when she sees me start to pull it over my head, immediately reaching out to press it back against my throat. What? No, Max, I'm giving it to you. Anyway, the necklace and luck had nothing to do with winning the contest. That was all you. She smiles at me again, easy and fond, and my heart squeezes in my chest a little. Absolutely not, Chloe. I told you there's no way I would have been able to win without you. She huffs a little, taking a step away from me backwards, and I lose her gaze for a second. Max, thanks, but I was a prop, a really hot prop though. Sure. But seriously, Chloe, this picture really wouldn't exist without you. And I mean, not because you're in it. I said it before, photography is all about. She cuts across me, suddenly looking at me again. Emotions, right? I falter for a second, but her expression is serious, not solemn. I nod a little bit, suddenly feeling a little shy. Yeah, and I mean, I pause again. The words I don't feel about anyone the way I feel about you are on the tip of my tongue. But I glance back, and there are a lot of boxes in the back of her truck. You mean a lot to me, obviously. Her lips quirk, but she just nods, still just watching me. I feel kinda small under her gaze, uncertain in the way I hate. An entire week to prepare, and I still have no idea what to say to her. I'm still not ready. I'm really glad we did this together. She nods again, coming over a few times to stand next to me. My head tilts, but I don't turn to face her full on. I just keep staring out at the ocean. The photo? Oh, well, yes, but spending the week together too. I know you must have had so much going on with Rachel and Joyce and getting ready to go, and thank you, I guess. Yeah, you made a lot of time for me. The sun's setting, golden now. Both of us are washed in soft yellow light. Chloe's got her hands braced against the hood of a truck. It's an awful cheesy thought to have, but briefly I'm relieved that Chloe and I get to have the same sunset again this last time. I wasn't making time for you. You're my best friend. I want to be with you. Her voice sounds Her voice sounds delicate against the roaring of the waves a few feet away. Firm but fallible. Whatever that word is. I glance sideways at her to find she's already looking at me, unblinking and unreadable. I'm not sure who moves first, but a moment later we're hugging fiercely, her arms tightly around my shoulders and mine around her waist. She smells the same as she always does, smoke and leather and some kind of sharply clean scent, tinged with the salt of the sea. I breathe her in, trying to commit it to memory. I really don't want to cry, but I really don't think I can help it at this point. There's no way she'll be able to blame me if I do. I'm going to really miss you. I want to say more. I want her to promise me she'll text me every day and tell her I'll be thinking about her all the time and how I want her to be happy. Most of all, but my voice cracks on you. My voice cracks on you and I have to stop before I even start. She brings one hand up and ruffles my hair soft before running her fingers through it, hand trailing down to the back of my neck slow. I shiver a tiny bit and hug her tighter. Absence makes the heart grow fonder or whatever, right? I laugh a little damply and I'm about to say I can't be any fonder of her than I already am, but she keeps talking. By the time I get back, you'll totally be in love with me. I go still before I can stop myself and immediately try to relax before she notices, but I don't move fast enough. Her hands move to my shoulders and she holds me out just to look at me. She's not frowning, but her gaze is intense and I wince. Good job keeping it together, Max. Max? Chloe? Come with me. We just stare at each other for what must have been at least a minute, then I sputter. What? Come with me, Max. Her fingers are digging into my shoulders and she still hasn't even blinked. I'm just stunned. Sure there's a step in this conversation. Sure there's a step in this conversation that I missed. Are you serious? Come with you? Like on your trip? Yeah. Her grip loosens up some of my shoulders, but she keeps holding on to me. Her face is half in shadow from the sunset, but there's uncertainty creeping into the half I can see. I know that's last minute, but I laugh a little hysterically, and that gets a tiny smile to curl on her cheeks for a moment before she continues. But like, I have some extra duffel bags, and you are way more organized than I am, and I chalked in a few extra hours to get you ready when I was accounting for driving time, so if you wanted to, we could. She looks so attentive, but her hands are so firm on my shoulders, I'm still totally caught off guard, still dazed, but you're not joking. Our eyes meet again, unyielding, and for a moment I expected to do the Chloe thing quip, lighten up the mood, but she only nods, biting her lip. No, I'm not. I was thinking about, asking you at the beginning of the week, but you were all excited about the contest thing, and I didn't want to freak you out. So you thought telling me you were leaving forever would make me less freaked out? My voice is awfully shrill and young, and I can't help but laugh at the sound of it in a series of short, nervous giggles. Chloe laughs along with me, eyes never leaving my face even as she lets go of my arms. Sorry. I also was worried about... Son of a bitch, my throat. Ugh. I was also worried about... Well, I wasn't worried totally, I just wasn't sure. She falters for a second and looks away, and I roll forward on my heels a little to meet her eyes again. At the motion, her gaze turns back to my face and she swallows. I didn't know if you wanted to go with me, be with me. Oh, do you want to? This is such a Chloe thing to do, impulsive and completely unexpected and passionate, and it catches me so off guard I can't help responding instinctually, yes. Her eyebrows shoot up so high I can't see them past her hairline. I giggle nervously and completely shocked at myself. What the hell are you saying, Max? This is so not like you. You really want to? But then I look back at her, and it's an expression I've never seen on Chloe in my whole life. Stunned and apprehensive and hopeful and tentative all at once. I feel like my heart could burst open for her. Yeah, I want to go. I want to be with you. She blinks once, twice, and her lips tug up for a second before her face bunches in worry again. Are you sure? Like, you've got school and all your photography stuff, and I know it's super important to you, and you have like other friends here other than me, and I mean, I'm not sure if do you want me to come or not? She cuts herself off with a surprised, breathy laugh, and just blinks again, waits for me to speak again, her eyes big and bright. First of all, do you know how many Blackwell students have skipped town in the middle of the year to go seek enlightenment? It's basically a rite of passage to becoming a real artist. She snorts, but she still looks incredulous, watching me intense and quiet. Besides, I like the idea of doing something impulsive, something an actual professional, good photographer would do. You already are good. Second of all, you're super important to me, more than any. Her eyebrows shoot way up, and I immediately stop myself. Back up. This is a good moment, but it's a delicate one. I can't mess this up. I want this to happen. I want to be with her. I want to come with you. Let me come with you. There's a moment of stillness between us, almost long enough to make me nervous. Then her face cracks open in a smile so big it's like she just can't contain it. Are you serious? I grin back, still feeling a little shocked at myself, but mostly just stupidly happy. Are you serious? She laughs in complete delight and sweeps me up in a hug again, lifting me off my feet and spinning me around. I'm laughing too much to tell her to put me down, so instead I just wrap my arms around her neck. She settles me back down on my feet after a moment, but she keeps her arms around my waist. Our faces close as she starts chattering excitedly. Okay, so we need to stop by your dorm. I can help you with, well, anything, with everything. We should probably stop by my house again to grab the clothes you have there, and God, and we should probably tell Rachel. And she stops herself properly because she ran out of air, and she grins at me breathless. I grin back, and I feel like the sun is shining right through me. And her voice falters a little, and she reaches up with one hand to brush some slightly sea-swept hair out of my face. Her hand lingers there for longer than is probably necessary, and we are just looking at each other's eyes, and I can't help but notice that her hand is shaking just a bit. The adrenaline rush from saying yes is still pumping through me, and that's what gets me rolling up onto my toes, gripping her waist a little more firmly for balance, and pressing my lips to hers, soft. She stiffens up a little and inhales sharply through her nose, and I immediately pull away, admittedly spooked, not sure if this reaction is just surprise or also horror, which, considering I'm hardly a paragon of experience and could be totally botching this, is entirely plausible. But when I look up again, the only emotion I can read on her face is pure shock. Fuck. She blinks at me once, twice, then laughs. Her laughing startles me for a second, and I go to pull away from her, but her grip on my hips goes tighter and she reels me back in. Yay, Pricefield kiss. I barely have any time to react before she kisses me again, falling a few steps back so she's leaning against the hood of her truck, me flush against her. Oh, I wasn't wrong, Chloe actually. She kisses me for a long moment, for almost longer than I'm ready for, but I just stand on my toes to do my best to kiss her back, despite surprise and inexperience and overwhelming relief. I'm pretty sure she only pulls away in order to breathe, but even then she keeps her eyes shut, our foreheads together. I'm staring through, searching her face framed between my hands. She looks so gentle, she looks happy. Chloe. She then laughs and shakes her head a little bit, eyes still closed, just glowing. Max, what? Even I'm surprised by how soft my voice is. She just breathes out another laugh. I totally was going to kiss you. I'm fucking furious. I was gonna be so romantic and you beat me to it. I blink for a second, then burst out laughing. It's so Chloe, needlessly competitive over something so sweet. Was it gonna be more romantic than literally asking me to run away with you? It was gonna be more romantic than you saying yes to running away with me, but tragically you messed it up for yourself. My cheeks hurt from smiling. The sun is so warm on my back. Chloe's hands are warm on my waist and firm. That's disappointing. It really is, but you know I'm willing to make her. I press back up to kiss her again, and she giggles against my mouth before leaning back in, pulling me even closer to her. The sun's going down. By the time we get back to the dorms, pack all my things, get in touch with Joyce and Rachel and my parents, and get on the road, traffic will probably be hell. But that's alright, Chloe and me, we have all the time in the world. Alright, so I'm pretty sure that's the end. Yep, thank you for playing Love is Strange. So yes, I really hope you all enjoyed that Pricefield, since we may not get it in issue 4. Like, I thought this would be a good little thing for all of you to see. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. This is TotalGamerJunkie signing off, and be sure to tune in tomorrow for issue 4 of the last arc, of the first arc ending of Life is Strange Dust. And issue 5 will be the second arc. Will be the start of the second arc, you know what I mean. Anyway, this is TotalGamerJunkie signing off.